This is a very key topic that you're bringing up here. It's basically one of the important ones that I wanted to discuss with you on this episode, like I said in the intro, because unfortunately, because you're also a really old school player, it's very easy for people to have an idea of what Blade's version of Counter-Strike is from the past, because you've been around for so long. So, for example, not only when you were in Flipside and you had this style, like to me, it was the most extreme version of like a From Tactics spawn style, because you also used to be a very slow team and used to run the clock down all the way. So it made people think that like that's the only way Blade sees Counter-Strike. Well, I actually did an interview with Xenia, obviously the legendary 1.6 player and very briefly was in CSGO, but I think it was in 2017, and he said something like this about you, actually, where basically I said, a Western fan who doesn't know the CIS region will think, right, well, if Zeus isn't going to be the in-game leader eventually, the only other name in the region is Blade, so they've got to give him a try, right? But I actually know that what Xenia said was what some other pros in the region thought, which is they thought, like, look, Blade was a good leader, but he thinks, like, the 1.6 way of playing the game. He doesn't think, like, modern Counter-Strike, which is what you're describing, basically. Like, a lot of modern players, it's like a mixture. It's like you have a little bit that's prepared, and then the rest is it's more like you all agree the style that you're going to play, but each player, you know, depending on what his position is, maybe he has more agency to do something in the game. Like obviously now, a lot of the star players in Counter-Strike kind of get to do what they want most times in the round, which isn't like old Counter-Strike, right? When did this change actually take place? When can you pinpoint when you kind of decided to become more like the modern way of thinking about CSGO? Were you kind of in the early days of CSGO? Do you think you were stuck in the 1.6 way of playing still?
Actually, it started just after Flipside. I had a lot of time to think and analyze what was wrong, what works for us, what didn't work. The main issue was when you play by scripts, your teammates actually can't use the potential of, I will say, like brain, because, as I said before, because at some point, you as the in-game leader playing in some area of the map, and he's playing in another area map, and he can have something. He can see the gap in the city, in the defense, and he can make his own decision. And if you're playing with really strict structure, you don't let him do this, and you're losing. Like, first of all, he's not evolving, and second, he can't use his strengths, basically. So it's stupid actually. But as I said before, it works really good for young and experienced players.
Yes,
because if you start playing, they don't know how to play, actually, young players. And if you tell them, like, we need to do this, and you tell him script, he's just doing his job. He just aim, that's all. It's easy. But then I realized that it's much better to create such players like Electronic, because actually with Electronic in Flipside, we were talking a lot about how he can react. So the second part is that we were working on mistakes. So, for example, when I don't call something in the game, he must do his own decision, of course.
right.
That way, we analyzed a lot of in-game situations, how he should react on this, on that, and he was building his knowledge, depending on that. And so everything was fine, but I realized that if I want to coach like best team in the world, I need them always to be basically that approach in Flipside will not work for another like tier 1 team, for example, like Navi. So after I finished with Flipside, I realized actually it's not even like Flipside, because I was mostly in Flipside. I always try to approach to the game depending on what I have. Like I have the strengths of this player, I have the weakness of this player, and I try to realize the whole picture. What will it, how it will look, and how we will approach the game. So it's hard to explain deeply, but mostly like I see that in this area he will be efficient. At this point, like this role will fit for him, and so on and so on. And that's how I was trying to create some efficient level of the game. But then, for example, I was trying to work with Gambit, and I saw another approach. I see the strengths of the players. I was talking with them. I saw them practicing, and we were trying to find our game style. And the same for Navi. I knew that we will have much more experienced and much more skilled players, and that I need to use this because, for example, in Flipside I didn't have, for example, a lot of this kind of strength when you know that this player can out-aim mostly everyone. For example, Electronic and Simple and even Flame, with his aim, when his aim is on point, he can out-aim anyone. So you have the strengths. Now you need to change the game approach because you need to use their strengths. In Flipside, we have another strengths. We were trying to work more like a team, execute properly, and so on and so on. And so it's all about what material you have, and then you try to build something.